Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the season opener for CORT Trading Page Championship Series. We are live here at Long Beach Street Circuit for tonight's Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Joining me up here in the booth tonight will be none other than the Mouth of the South, Ben Gilcrease, myself, Matt Weisbrod, and I'll be doing all the lovely work of producing tonight. Ben, it's been a few weeks since we've been up here in the booth for the guys at CORT, and we're finally back.
It seems like it's been forever since we've been doing a race for CORT, but it's glad to be back. I've been looking forward to this Monday night for quite a while, sometime now, and going to be some good racing here tonight at Long Beach. I was watching the practice earlier, and I mean, these guys are wheeling these cars around the street circuit. It is going to be some of the best racing I think we're going to see all season right here in the season opener. Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to see who actually will come out on top tonight, because it's going to come down to racing, yes, but we've also going to definitely going to come down to pit strategy as well. It's a driver's track, and it's yeah, you can lose it on pit strategy too, like we saw last season in a few of the races. It's going to take us through Christmas. It's going to take us through the New Year's. We're going to be with you for quite a while here this season. Of course, got the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach tonight, and then we head to Miami, Homestead, Miami next week, the first oval of the season, and then we head to Japan for the Grand Prix of Japan, September the 23rd, the week after that. Then we take a week off, and then, Matt, the fourth event on the schedule right there, the 5th annual Indianapolis 250. That's the one I'm looking forward to right there.
That's right, Ben. I just want to apologize. I realized my mic was not functioning properly. Those lovely technical issues we have at the beginning of every season, it seems. That's right, the 5th annual Indianapolis 250. Last year's winner, Mike Husby. Can he do it again? He knew how to get it done last season. Will he be able to get it back-to-back years?
I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. It's definitely going to be harder, I think, this year with a bunch of the guys with more experience. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to get done with tonight first before we can think about the Indianapolis 250, October 7th.
That's correct, Ben. As the viewers can see, there's a lot of different courses here. The 4th annual US 250 at Michigan, and the 3rd annual Pocono 250 at Pocono Raceway. We will be talking more about the schedule throughout the season, so this is just a glimpse of what you get to see. And like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit later on. But moving on, the teams here this year, there are 12 different teams and a lot of different drivers.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of different drivers. Glad to see all these drivers in here. This season we've got MH Motorsports, Husby Motorsports, Go Tire Motorsports, O'Toole Motorsports, Watson Autosport, Furry Incorporated, Sauce Racing, Fury. I said Furry. Oh Lord, Matt, the good old mispronunciation of words struck again. But the list goes on and on. Glad to see all these teams here this season. Glad to see all the drivers too. This is a great shot tonight. I think there's 23 cars going to get the green flag tonight, so that's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. 23 drivers here getting ready to fire it up and get racing here at Long Beach. Like you said, a lot of different drivers, a lot of different teams. Moving on, though, we've got the championship, like we talked about, with Mr. Husby winning that last season.
Yep, Husby walked out with a championship, but the heartbreaker, Tyler Tucker, he was only 2 points back, and it came down to the very last lap of the last race last season, and we didn't know who was going to get champion, and finally we did find out it was Mike Husby. But that was just an unbelievable season last season, and that shows right there, Matt, you got to be here for these road course races, and you got to be here for the ovals.
That's right, Ben. One guy that I'm going to be looking for this season is Tim Silliman. He's a driver for David Danboy's Developments. He missed a few races last season. I thought he had a good shot at the points championship, but like I said, he missed it. And like you just said, you got to be here for every one of them to make sure it matters. So he wasn't here, but I think he might be one to contend for that title with Husby. Of course, Tucker will always be a top contender. Even Alex Buffoli, he did really well towards the end of that season. It could be anybody's race here, and we're just about to find out.
That we are, and we're just a few moments away from the grid here, so we're not too far away from the race here at Long Beach. We're going to go ahead and send it trackside for today's national anthem. Hello everybody and welcome to Long Beach Street Circuit. We are sorry to cut out right there. We got our information wrong. It's actually a standing start here tonight in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. On the pole is Alex Buffoli, Matt Hennington, Timothy Silliman, John Dragonetti, and Mike Husby rounds out the top 5 as we stack them up on the grid, getting set for the start here in the season opener, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. It's just seconds away. Motors are revved. Fans, are you ready to start the season? One car stalled on the start. He was at the very beginning of the pack. This is going to get hairy down in the corner number 1. They punch him up behind. 3, 4, 5 wide, maybe even. Few cars have damage as we race down into corner number 1. It has not been clean so far. So far, it's been clean through corner number 1. The front
Thanks for staying off me there, Julian. I didn't see him and I had to check up in a hurry.
Fairly clean through 1, 2, and 3 so
or whoever that was, I thought it was
like
Julian.
I said, had a little jumble up on the start. Other than that, we're pretty clean so far. Oh no! One car around. That was John Dragonetti. Dragonetti started 4th. Alex Buffoli.
Wow, Ben, that was crazy there with the 0-8 of Buffoli. He spun it around coming out of that corner, and he stopped right in front of everybody. Everyone had to split him. Thankfully, he's back up and running now.
And he was on the pole. He started on the pole, so a very jumbled up start here so far in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series season opener. And Scott Olson almost loses it off with the final corner. Coming onto the front straightaway, this is going to put Timothy Silliman in the lead. And we're punching him up. Big crash off the final corner. Oh my goodness, somebody backed right across the nose. Oh, and he pulled right down in front of the other guy.
Yeah,
and they're still crashing.
Slowed up too. It was just a chain reaction.
That was Troy McLaughlin,
Didn't mean to dive on
who
you,
is
sorry.
now going to
Wasn't
have to
expecting to
pace
get early.
around this track with all sorts of
Thanks
damage.
for fucking reversing across the track. For fuck's sake.
Send it to commercial.
Lap 2 here at Long Beach. We're going to head to a quick commercial break. Welcome back to Long Beach. Here the season opener in the CORT Training Paints Championship Series. Timothy Silliman is your leader. We want to apologize before heading to break there. We had some driver radio cut across the air. A little whoopsie moment right there for us. But Silliman leads over Andrew Hayes and Scott Olson, who sits third.
Ben, also want to apologize. It's showing how many laps we have to go. Tonight we're doing an hour and 20 minutes. We're not counting the laps. It's all about time.
All about time. We'll keep you updated as far as the time goes. So we'll let you know how much time is left in the race, etc. We're still way early, though, in this one. Still a lot of time. A bunch of people, though, look like their patience ran out on the first lap. Or in the first 2 laps there, but everything's pretty much spread out now. We're getting some racing under our belt. I think Scott Olson might have just bounced it off with the wall heading to the front straightaway. Oh, he was close. No, he didn't touch it. So, battle for the lead up front is between Timothy Sullivan and Andrew Hayes here in the early going at Long Beach. Ooh, and Andrew Hayes comes so close to that tire barrier, man, he could have reached out and slapped it with his hand if he wanted to.
I think he could have probably climbed over that wall. He was so close to that thing.
My goodness. Few cars on pit road. Oh, we got an accident? No. They were able to save it. Daniel Holloway and Andrew Hess got into it heading into the fountain corner. Andrew Hess almost got turned into the fountain, but he was able to keep it straight.
Holloway's got some damage there on that front right wing of his 26 car.
And that would be from the contact in the fountain turn in corner number 2 there. That's for the 13th position, so every position is worth it here when it comes down to the very end of this thing in the season, in the championship points. Andrew Hayes gives up second position to come down pit road. I have to see what's going on with Hayes.
He just looks to have some damage there on that left front wing there. Maybe when he came off that corner, when he was making that right-hander and bounced it off the wall.
Oh my, so something that we missed. And Husby's slow on the track. Husby's slow on the track. He might have damage.
Pull up a replay real quick here, Ben, of Husby, see if we can see what happened.
Oh yeah, that car is damaged.
Oh yeah, he got big left side damage there.
My goodness. And that's the thing about racing these street circuits like this, Matt. These walls are so tight together. I mean, I really don't know how to describe how tight these walls are, but you really don't have much room to make a mistake here. And if you just miss the corner by the slightest little bit, then you can end up like Mike Cusby right now, and he's going to have to turn around down here in the hairpin coming onto the front straightaway. He just, that car all out of whack here in the early going. He was third.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. These walls just seem to jump out and bite you, and they don't give a warning. They just do it, you know?
Yep. All right, so we get everything pacing here. And Chance Manning has spun. Chance Manning in the 12th car gives up the third position. Oh my. Meanwhile, got a battle heating up for the lead between Scott Olson and Timothy Silliman. And Matt, we've seen this all last season with Olson. He might not start out on the pole, but give him 7, 10, 14 laps, and he'll be right there on the rear bumper challenging for the lead, and that's exactly what he's doing here in the early going at Long Beach.
Scott Olson seems to be one of the patient road course street circuit type of drivers here at CORT. He, like you said, he might not qualify that well, but he's patient and he's clean, and that's what matters the most here.
That it does. It looks like Andrew Hayes might have just had more contact. No, John Dragonetti drives it into the wall, heading into the left-hander. Dragonetti qualified 4th and had the mishap on the first lap. Just not been his night so far here at Long Beach either. And another driver piled into him. That was Timothy Silliman, the leader. So Olson goes to the lead. Silliman falls back to second. My goodness, there's so much action. I'm trying to catch it all, but there's just so much action around this track, it's hard to.
That's definitely right, but it's hard to keep track, not only broadcasting it, but also making sure the cameras are in the right spots. And wow, there's a lot of scrap metal that's going to be free for everybody.
Oh, most definitely. One car just drove off at the end of the front straightaway. Didn't get a number on him, but I did see one car pull behind the retaining wall there. Battle for 4th is a pretty good battle heating up right here between two cars, Brian Sullivan and Tyler Tucker. Tucker has 4th right now. Sullivan trying to get it away from him. Stephen Taylor sits 3rd, just kind of quietly racing in his own little pack. Not worrying about anybody in front of him, anybody behind him. He can just race his race. And look at here, Matt. Look who's found his way to 6th position. He qualified 17th. David Dambois is almost into the top 5.
Good to see the leader CEO here of CORT Racing doing so well. He's had some bad luck last season, but I think he's going to find a way to get it done this season to make sure it gets done, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And just as we say that, he hits the wall.
And the broadcaster's curse strikes again.
All right, so I guess we shouldn't talk about anybody so that way they don't wreck.
Yeah, we're just going to keep quiet up here so nobody wrecks. Yeah, but it don't. And speaking, I mentioned the broadcaster's curse. We do fantasy picks when we do our other races as far as Noble Motorsport goes, and we'll do fantasy picks here throughout the season as well. But every time, Matt, it never fails. We pick a guy, and then he crashes.
But it seems like I either pick a guy and he wins, or I pick a guy and yeah, he crashes. So I like to be able to pick guys that win, obviously, all the time, but that doesn't always happen either.
Oh yeah. All right, so working a lap number 10 here.
Ben, the viewers at home were able to get a view from the blimp, and looking down from the Noble Network 1 blimp, the ground looks very snow covered. We just want to remind everybody this is the tech track, so it's not a fully designed track by iRacing. It's just something that us fans of racing can enjoy.
Yeah, what you're seeing here, all the little dots, that's just stuff that iRacing uses to kind of, I don't know the word, mold together the scenery here. We have the track. The track is current. Track is up to date, but we just don't have all the scenery around the track. And Scott Olson, he must be having some kind of problems as far as internet goes. Not seeing him out on the track, and this is huge. He was the leader. He's being scored 8 now.
Ben, hate to interrupt you there, but our leader, Timothy Silliman, just drove head-on into the tire barrier, and his car is not moving.
Oh my goodness. And he just completely missed the right-hander there on a big hit. And he's going to be out of the race. That might put Stephen Taylor to the lead. And it is official now. Olson has dropped out. His internet connection went on the downside. Stephen Taylor takes the lead here at Long Beach. Unbelievable. So Stephen Taylor with the lead. Tyler Tucker trying to run him down, just got a piece of the tire barrier.
Like you said, Ben, action all over the track here. It's hard to keep track of anyone. And there's a car around by Tucker.
It's Chance Manning. Yeah, Chance Manning right in front of the 2 leaders there. Or the top 3, I should say. Tucker and Sullivan, they're still going at it except for 4th, though now it's for 2nd. Tyler Tucker is trying to run down. Look out, he's going to hit the wall. He keeps it out of the wall. Somehow. And it has to be a product of the damage that he received getting into that tire barrier, I would think. He's not going to pit. He stays out. He's trying to run down Stephen Taylor. Olson gets his internet fired back up. He's going to try and come back in. Timothy Silliman has officially retired from the event. Car exiting pit road, and it's right in front of Tyler Tucker. That's Andrew Hayes. Everything goes well.
Right on board with Brian Sullivan, a 13 car, as he chases down the 55 with Tyler Tucker. Gives the viewers at home a chance to see exactly what this street circuit's all about here.
Now you can really see how narrow this place is from the driver's perspective. And some places are wider than the others, but some places, like I said earlier, you miss a turn by an inch and you go right into the wall. You done it over with and put you out of the race.
Ben, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I hate to talk about any driver at this point because it seems like anyone we talk about hits a wall or something.
Yeah. But we got to talk about something. Stephen Taylor leading so far. Tyler Tucker, like I mentioned, trying to chase him down. Brian Sullivan, top 3. They're all on the front straightaway now. 4th place, you have to go back to Joseph Savone. He's coming through the hairpin onto the straightaway now. 5th place, Scott Mullen. He's working the hairpin now.
Ben, I just got word from the garage area that our series champion from last year, Mike Husby, retired.
Oh my. And that is big. That is real big. Not the way he wanted to start off his season here in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. And I really think that we'd see a bunch more people in the race now, but Matt, they were in such a good rhythm through practice and qualifying, etc., etc. And then on the start, the one driver, Matt Harrington, stalled it on the start, and then it just stacked everything up, and I think that got everybody out of their rhythm. And that's why we're seeing everybody just missing the apexes and smacking the wall.
Yeah, Ben, I do agree with that. That one driver causing everyone to lose focus for that split second and have to check up immediately. It's not what you want to have, especially at a standing start.
Yeah, most definitely. Want to remind you of some upcoming events here on Noble Network 1. Of course, the Wiley X Truck Series tomorrow night from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That can be seen on NobleNetwork1.com, just like you're viewing tonight's race on NobleNetwork1.com under the Noble Network 2 Twitch page. Also, September the 11th, the West Pro Series Late Model Division heads to Irwindale Speedway for triple features at the outer, and then we head back to the outer configuration. 40 laps each, with $1,000+ in prizes on the line, Matt. That is the biggest event in West Pro Series history, and it happens this Wednesday night live on Noble Network 1.
That's going to be a big event, Ben. It's much props to the series admins for getting all those prizes and getting everything worked out. Why not stop and jump in a late model at Irwindale and, hey, get a chance to win a prize? Some of the specs regarding the prizes I have to agree with. If you win the first one and you win the second one, well, the second place guy gets the first place prize, if I'm not correct.
Yep, that is correct. You can't win one of the same. You can't win two of the same thing. So, which really gives everybody a chance to win something. And there's a bunch of random prizes being given away, and top 3 in each feature. There's 3 features. Top 3 in each features will get prizes, and 3 butt kicker systems will be given away. That's almost $700 right there, just for 3 winners of the 3 features. So a huge night for West Pro Series, and we'll talk a little bit about that more throughout the broadcast and preview it. We'll also preview it on the Noble Radio Show, which happens Wednesday night at 8:30, and can't forget about the Noble Cup Series as we try it again at another track and possibly another car to see if we can't get them crunk up and racing. Meanwhile, back to the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series live here tonight at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Tyler Tucker has really started to put the pressure on leader Stephen Taylor. And this is going to be a dandy of a battle, I think, if these guys get close and tail to nose to each other. Taylor running up on the lap traffic of Martin right here is going to get tight in the center of the corner. Martin goes high, Taylor goes low, and they're able to make it through.
The one advantage that Taylor has right now is the fact that Tucker is really driving the wheels off that car and playing a little risky around some of these corners I've been watching.
Yeah, Tyler, he's pretty good on the road course, but last season we knew him mainly for a bunch of wins on the oval side of things, and he's really shown us he can wheel this thing around a road course tonight here at Long Beach as we cross the stripe. That time, only 3 seconds separate he and Stephen Taylor.
Doing my research, Ben, I was able to see that Tyler Tucker last season he had 3 wins, 1 on the road and 2 on the ovals. But if you think about it, the ovals he won on, they were Milwaukee and New Hampshire. Kind of the same type of track, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, flat track is where he likes the flat stuff. And here at Long Beach, this is virtually as flat as you can get. Here around the streets. So flat tracks might do it for Mr. Tucker. We'll have to wait and see though. Still got just under an hour left in tonight's events, or tonight's race here at Long Beach. And Tucker's really closing the gap. He has really closed the gap this lap. I mean, he has We'll have to see what the margin of margin lead is at the line here. Still 3 seconds. It'll look like he closed it more than that. But he was caught up in some lap traffic. Oh, he gets into the tire barriers. The lap car, I think, messed him up, and he tried to get around him as quick as possible, and he got into the tire barriers. And he might have some damage that will affect the handling of that car. Let's look at the top 5 tonight here as they run. Steven Taylor is your leader, then it's Tyler Tucker. Brian Sullivan is third. Joseph Servone sits fourth, and Andrew Hess is fifth. Scott Olson has returned back to the track 3 laps down. He sits 12th. Still a long way to go. But I don't think we'll see Olson come back and win this thing. If we do, then he will shock the sim racing world.
That would be a miracle. But he is right behind second place, so we'll see.
Close to getting 2 laps back.
Yep,
getting 2 laps down, or getting 1 lap, which puts him 2 laps down. There we go.
I was going to say, any chance that I could get into one of those races where you get 2 laps and you pass them just once?
Oh, wow, we got a quick break in the action. Let's get a plug out for rseat.net. They have all your sim racing needs when it comes to comfort. Seats to monitor stands, they have it all at rseat.net. rseat.net is the official sponsor of the rseat.net Cup Series at Noble Motorsports, which runs Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Noble Network 1. Speaking of a Cup Series, Matt, we can't forget about the CORT National Series.
Ben, I hate to interrupt here, but Scott Olson and Tyler Tucker just got into it. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. And he made a big crash bigger right there. And that is not what Tyler Tucker wanted to see, not what he needed. And oh my goodness. And I think Olson I don't know, he just kind of dove into the corner real quick. I don't even think that's a proper passing place, and he just... My goodness, and Olson is done now. He's pulled it behind the wall after climbing over Tyler Tucker's car. My goodness, Tyler Tucker, he was in position to possibly take the lead within a few laps. Not the case now.
Pulled up a replay of that, Ben, and it looked like Scott Olson just tried diving inside of Tucker. Tucker didn't know he was there, drove down on him, and around you go.
Yeah, just, I don't know, a weird incident there between a guy who was 3 laps down versus a guy who was battling for the lead. Meanwhile, that takes a big weight off of Steven Taylor's shoulder, Matt. He has a commanding lead over Brian Sullivan, who is 11 seconds back at the line. This time we'll see if we can't get an update. 9.9 seconds back now is Sullivan. But still, that's a pretty good lead here at Long Beach.
Yeah, especially on a street circuit here, that type of time is, they're a good ways back.
Feel sorry for the story writers that have to write the story after the race tonight. We have had so much action within the first 20 minutes of this race. It has just been unbelievable. I mean, you would think this race is only 30 minutes long, but we are actually racing for an hour and 20 minutes. And a bunch of guys have been slapping the wall. The leaders have spun themselves. The leaders have had internet problems, got caught up in lap traffic. You name it, it has happened here at Long Beach in the season opener, and this is really going to stir up the drama for the whole season, Matt. I mean, we could see some rivalries come out of this race, which could stick the whole season. And I don't know about you, but I like that kind of stuff.
This race is almost better than Bristol and the rivalries I think that are going to be developing here. I was just watching the second place car, Brian Sullivan. He tried getting through that hairpin, and his car just would not turn. And he just drove right into the tires. He was probably the cleanest car on the track that I could find. And now it's got left front wing damage.
So, Sullivan has some damage. And like you said, referring to Bristol, I think not only is the drama like Bristol, but these cars are going to look like they raced at Bristol, beaten, banged up after this race.
I'm starting to wonder how many haulers are going to go home with actual cars in them.
Wait and see. Johnny Williams is off in corner number 1. He has one of those GPSs off that commercial that says "turn right now," and it's got him all sorts of whacked up here. He gets it pointed in the right direction now. He sits 15th. Still learning the car, I think, here at Long Beach, but what a better place to learn than on a street circuit like this. This is a fairly easy track to learn, but not an easy track to conquer.
You say that so smoothly sitting up here in the booth.
Yeah, put me on the track, I'll whack the wall in turn 1. Alright, we'll see what the margin lead, I should say, that Taylor has over Sullivan this time around. Sullivan had to deal with a little bit of lap traffic there. He's coming up on Chance Manning now. Manning at one point was in the top 3, might have even led for a brief moment. Then he had his fair share of problems. Manning actually almost gets into the wall there, coming to the front straightaway. Sullivan's coming in pits. Sullivan's coming down the pit road, and I'm not sure what exactly the fuel is looking like here tonight, but we might see fuel stops already taking place.
Or it might have been that front wing damage that he sustained, just isn't able to keep the car on the track, holding it down with the downforce there. Or, like you said, it could be just for fuel.
Never know. We need to get us a pit road reporter down there. If anybody's interested, we pay good. We'll buy you a hot dog. We'll buy you a hot dog for a pit road reporter. Stephen Taylor leads here at Long Beach in the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. You're watching the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series live on Noble Network 1. We're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back.
Hey race fans, it's Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford Fusion with your eye safety tip of the week. Did you know that 90% of eye injuries can be avoided simply by wearing the proper ANSI approved eyewear? More than 1 million Americans have lost some degree of sight due to eye injury. That's a risk that I'm just not willing to take. Go to wileyx.com to find a dealer near you and to learn more about the first premium performance sunglass company whose entire product line meets occupational safety standards. That's wileyx.com. Wiley X. Safety never looks so cool.
I felt it all at the hall, where it's a cool 33 degrees.
We experienced it all at the hall, where my son became the fastest man ever.
I relived it all at the hall, where my grandson asked me, "Did you really do all that?"
Experience high-octane fun during NASCAR Hall of Fame's Cure for the Common Summer, presented by Coca-Cola.
Does a real race car have a center post? Of course not, and neither should your race rig. The R-Seat Evo V3 with its unique design has no center post. The R-Seat Evo replicates what you would be accustomed to in your daily driver or something you may take to the track. It can accommodate drivers from 4'11" up to over 6'6" tall and is pre-drilled for all of the major wheel manufacturers on the market today. When it comes to performance, look no further than the R-Seat Evo V3. Check out the R-Seat Evo and other sim racing equipment by heading to www.rseat.net.
There is no way to avoid a ticket if you don't use your seatbelt. Cops are stepping up enforcement and looking for unbuckled drivers like never before. If you don't buckle up, you will get stuck with a ticket. Click it or ticket.
Welcome back to No Bull Network 1. You are watching the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series live here at the Grand Prix of Long Beach. And the leader is down pit road, Stephen Taylor. Lap number 26, he's down pit road. As of right now, 3 cars still on the lead lap. Two cars. 3 cars is my producer Matt's confusing me up here in my ear. 3 cars on the lead lap as of now. Sullivan is 3rd on the tail end. Joseph Servone sits 2nd. He'll actually go to the lead. Scratch that, so Servone to the lead. He's trying to get around 5th place Scott Mullen right now. Mullen is already a lap down. Mullen gonna oh, go ahead, Matt.
I believe, Ben, we're going to see, now that we're about 40 minutes away from the finish of this race, I think a lot of these guys are finally going to find that line that they've been looking for the entire race. It's not so cluttered anymore, and they'll be able to drive their race. Unfortunately, some of these guys are a lap or 2 down, so they'll just have to hang on and get those precious points because, CORT does not give points for every position. There are select positions that are getting points, and there are others that aren't.
Yep, Joseph Servone giving up the lead on lap 27 to come down pit road. He hasn't technically given up the lead yet. He will in about 3, 2, 1. Stephen Taylor goes back to the lead. No, did he get the lead at the line right there? He did by 0.3 of a second. That was a close battle right there to see who led the lap. Sullivan backing up. Excuse me. Can't tell the difference between a 9 and a 7 without my glasses on. 7 seconds back from the lead here at Long Beach. Chance Manning has spun around in the middle of corner number 3. This is not a good spot to be sitting backwards on the track. It was right in front of 2nd place Brian Sullivan.
Get that replay up of Chance Manning spinning it here, and you'll also be able to see the 12th car of Brian Sullivan just barely getting by his nose cone. I guess that was the rear end of the car, not the front end of the car.
Yeah, it looked like he just, I don't know if he just got it too far up on the curb right there. He actually slapped the fountain. Can't really tell, but that car definitely did loop around, and it was a scary situation for the ones behind him. Sullivan working the front stretch, so is Stephen Taylor. Taylor with some lap traffic. They're going to go side by side into corner number 1. That's Patrick Healy. He lets him go. Healy sits 8th so far. Ooh, he almost got a chunk of the fountain to take home as a souvenir.
He probably hasn't gotten past the line yet.
And I cut him off right in the middle of a sentence. Dave, welcome to the booth. Out early here.
Hello.
In the season opener, but it looks like you'll finish around 12th or so, which is fairly good.
Yeah, if we can get a point out of it, I'll take it. This has been a nightmare.
Yeah, I was talking to Matt a little bit.
Really thought.
Go ahead.
Really thought it was gonna go a lot better, but unfortunately, target team just didn't really have the best of luck. Chris Sweat didn't even attempt the race, and I really thought we were doing well. We got up to about 6th or 7th tonight, and unfortunately, it just all kind of bummed out there at the end. And oh well, unfortunately, we'll be trying to get it back at Homestead next week.
I was talking to Matt about the start of the race. The driver on the front row, Matt Harrington, stalled for a brief second, and it just bunched everybody up. And I told telling Matt that everybody's in such a rhythm through practice and qualifying. Do you think that one little mishap on the start and the little mishaps on the first lap got everybody out of the rhythm, which caused a bunch of the wall smacking we saw and a bunch of the spins that we saw?
Yeah, I honestly think it was a case where a lot of these guys, I'm not sure how many of them have done standing starts before. We did announce last week that this event would be a standing start due to the fact that the hairpin is just so difficult to get around double file or even single file for that matter. So we decided to make the move to a standing start. I still defend that decision, making it a standing start. I still think it was the right decision. I just don't know what exactly happened. Unfortunately, it seemed that we had, this is probably our biggest road course field in a long time, and at a place at Long Beach, the season opener, maybe not have been the best decision for us to host our season opener here.
As always, next week at Homestead Miami Speedway, you talked about that. That's an oval, of course. So we're going to be at a road course for 1 week. Head to Homestead, and then you guys will head back to Okayama, which is a completely different beast than what we see here at Long Beach. As we see the leaders, Stephen Taylor getting into Joe Martin there.
Yeah, I wonder what the heck went on there. He went through the hairpin, and it's such a tight corner, that hairpin. It's almost blind, and in my 10+ years of racing online, I've never had a corner where you have to almost I had to take my hand off of the wheel and basically let the wheel center itself on the exit of that corner. That's a really tough corner. So if he got into the 03 car there of who was that? No, the 02, my bad, of John Eat. Then I can't give him any fault for that. That's just a tough corner.
Yeah, and like I was talking there, Matt and I were talking earlier, this track, not only is the hairpin corner a tight corner, every corner on this track is a tight corner. This has got to be one of the tightest tracks that we visit in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. It's just the walls are so close together here.
Well, it's such a good racetrack. I mean, it's a fun, interesting layout. It's a historic layout. As you know, this used to host the Formula One U.S. Grand Prix for a while in the 70s and 80s. Obviously, now it's mainly known for the IndyCar date back in the CART in the late 90s. And yeah, it's such a great racetrack. It's so tight, especially the fountain complex. But what's so interesting is that there are so many spots where it really widens out. So there are still spots where drivers can get out of the way safely, let the leader by, or let faster traffic by. In fact, if you look at Stephen Taylor, this stretch right here is pretty good too, underneath the roller coaster. But yeah, there are many really good spots. But yeah, like you said, it narrows down to about a groove just about for every single corner on this speedway.
Yeah, that definitely makes it harder as a driver, knowing that you only have one groove, and knowing that you're coming up on lap traffic like Taylor is right now. He's got 2 lap cars in front of him.
Yeah, the one there, I believe that's one of the Excalibur Racing entries, the new 3-car team to the Championship Online Racing teams, Johnny Martin, Andrew Hess. Wow, I believe that was Scott Mullen needing to get way out of the way there.
I thought we were going to see a good short track bump and run almost from...
We're just about due. Like, honestly, like, if you look at our leader's race car right now, he is dented up, front end's all dented up, side pod's dented up. Surprised that the dang thing isn't missing the front wing at this point.
Yeah, Matt and I were talking earlier. He said the drama so far in the first 20 minutes of this race would be like a drama that you'd see in a whole NASCAR Bristol race, and I told him the cars are going to look like a NASCAR Bristol race too.
They're right about they're right about there. Honestly, I know our road course races are usually on the rougher side, but this is ridiculous.
Stephen Taylor a commanding lead over Brian Sullivan. I wouldn't say commanding. Sullivan's within 10 seconds, which is catchable if Taylor makes quite a bit of, or a pretty big mistake, or even a small mistake could be big here at Long Beach. And Sullivan could be right on his rear wing. But then we have Joseph Servone sitting third. He's 48 seconds back. He's really going to need some major happenings with the front 2 if he wants anything to do with this. And we still got quite a bit of time left in this race, too.
Yeah, we're just a bit over halfway now. And honestly, there's so much that's happened in the first half of this event. Who knows what might happen? It might happen. You never know. I mean, it's been pretty crazy. But Stephen Taylor, our leader right now, formerly, he used to race with us all the way back about a couple seasons ago, but believe it or not, Ben, he was racing out of Alaska 2 years ago.
Wow.
He was driving from Fairbanks, and he has moved to a more sane Charlotte metropolitan area. But yeah, Stephen Taylor is hauling the mail right now, but his main competition tonight, I think, is going to be that 13 car. If the 13 of Brian Sullivan can catch back up, Brian is definitely going to be someone to not count out tonight.
It's kind of been a rubber band effect with Sullivan and Taylor. Sullivan will catch him 1 lap, and then he'll lose a second, catch 2 seconds, lose 2 seconds, etc., etc. So, Sullivan's got to start hitting his marks consistently if he wants anything to do, and almost got a little bit too sideways there. But we'll have to see what the margin is at the line this time to see if he's closed in.
Yeah, and that hairpin corner, I'll say it. I said it before, and I'll say it again. That hairpin corner, turn 11, is such a difficult corner as well. As I believe Taylor got a little bit of the fountain complex that time, and front end's a little bit more mangled up, but you can't really notice the difference.
And like you were talking earlier, Sullivan also had a little problem heading into corner number 1 that last time around. Just got done watching the replay there. So Sullivan and Taylor having their fair share of problems in the first 3 corners.
Yeah, but they're keeping it going. A lot of people thought that this was going to be a race of attrition, and it's definitely staying that way. With only 3 cars on the lead lap right now, it's pretty stagnant. But nonetheless, anything can happen. That's why we don't just call it a race. You know, we run the full distance. We don't try and just end it early.
Most definitely, as we saw in quite a bit of the road course races last season, most of the big happenings didn't happen until the last 15 minutes of the show. I mean, you just never, you can't count out anybody or can't count out anything happening until the very last second, because anything could happen. It could be Stephen Taylor could be coming out of the final corner, coming to take the checkered and whack the wall, turn the car upside down, and Sullivan just drive by waving. It's just that unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could be a little thing like that. I mean, it very well could be.
Let's see if our producer can't get a good look at these brakes. He mentioned it to me in my ear. He says the brake rotors are glowing here at Long Beach. It's they're definitely heated up after 40 or so minutes of racing. So the brake rotors are glowing. I don't think we'll see any brake failures here today, but they're definitely hot right now. Got a quick plug in for the PowerTech Power Solutions. PowerTech Power Solutions is the official sponsor of the PowerTech Power Solutions Nationwide Series here at Noble Motorsport. They cover Southern Connecticut, parts of New York and New Jersey, sales, parts, and service. They are your ones to call if the power goes out. WileyX.com is the official sponsor of the WileyX Truck Series here at Noble Motorsport. They have all your sunglass needs, from tactical motorcycle, racing, outdoors, and safety. They even have prescription lenses too. So choose WileyX to keep the sun and debris out of your eyes. That's WileyX.com. Matt, you wearing your WileyX glasses today?
I am wearing my Wiley X glasses. That's why I can hardly see anything right now. I'm sitting in my R-seat cockpit as well. And I've got my poster from the Hall of Fame on my wall.
And you got your power supply from PowerTech Power Solutions.
Well, my power never goes out, so I don't have to worry about condoms.
There you go.
And now watch, my power will go out.
Oh boy. Few minutes past halfway, closing in on the 30-minute left mark here at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We want to thank you for joining us here tonight for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. Matt, history's being made tonight, believe it or not. This is the first official broadcast that Noble Network 1 has done of another league besides Noble Motorsport or its sister league, West Pro Series.
Yes, that's correct, Ben. The first one, talking with the powers that be over there, they kind of told us that it's ours to do what we want if we choose to do it, and the CORT guys were so good to us when back in our days at our former affiliate, I'll call it that, that I wanted to do all that I could for them, and I enjoy the IndyCar races, no matter if it's on the road, street, or oval. So talked with the boss man here, David Danboys, and obviously Ben, yourself, and here we are.
Here we are, and we'll be here quite a bit throughout the season. And you can check out the CORT season at CORTRacing.com.
Yeah, you can go ahead and check it out. It's a good website.
Yeah, you can also check out NobleNetwork1.com under the CORT tab, which is where most of you are watching tonight, the CORT live page on the Noble Network 2 Twitch TV page. Kind of gets a little confusing. We have to do that because we have another race going on at the same time. So double duty for Noble Network 1 on Monday nights.
Yeah, and I appreciate, I know we go back to the old TSTV days, so I appreciate that we were able to work out some sort of deal to keep the Championship Online Racing teams with the same core. So I appreciate the fact that you guys were able to work out a deal with us.
Oh yeah, and like Matt said, definitely glad to be back. I love IndyCar racing, especially at the ovals like Michigan and what was the other one last year that was so good? Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Oh my goodness, just such great racing here, and how could we not want to come back?
Yeah, and we just recently announced that our Las Vegas event this season will actually be 2 65-lap races. We'll be running twin events for the Las Vegas event this season.
Can't wait. That is going to be pretty exciting.
Don't forget, Ben, there is also Kansas on the schedule this year, as well as Iowa.
Oh boy.
Iowa was a fun favorite last year. I remember that. That was Alex Boffley getting the win there last season.
And Iowa puts on such great racing with basically you can race from the apron all the way to the wall. Kansas, that track is just magnificent as far as the racing surface, and the graphics is great on it as well. That's going to be a good race too, I think. Bunch of good tracks coming up in the season.
Also, don't want to forget, Ben, the Triple Crown for CORT: Indianapolis, Michigan, and Pocono once again this season.
Oh yeah, those races are always good. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to the 5th Indianapolis 250 coming October 7th. That is, what a great race last season. Of course, Mike Husby coming out with the win, but that's one race I've got marked on my calendar that is a must-see event. And if you're out there watching tonight, you got to mark it on your calendar too. October 7th, you do not want to miss the Indianapolis 250.
Yeah, that's going to be one heck of a show. We always end up with a really exciting, really cool field because we end up with people who just want to run Indianapolis. And you get your Indianapolis only entries, which are really exciting to see as well.
Stephen Taylor still leads here at Long Beach. Brian Sullivan, he's fallen back about 5 seconds more than we last talked about him. He's about 15 seconds back, 15 and a half last go around. We'll see what it is this go around. Get you an update as he takes some cones. Almost souvenir heading into the hairpin there.
Yeah, and we're getting pretty close to the second of two green, well, they're all green flag pit stops, no cautions on the road courses, but second of two pit stops here. We're going to calculate that we can go about 20 minutes on fuel, so we'll probably see pit stops here in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Of course, when pit stops occur, that's always a great time. I should say a great time, but that's a key time to watch for mistakes, entering, exiting, even on pit road itself. And if you're Stephen Taylor, that's something you can't do. You can't make a mistake and let Sullivan get any time on you. You got to stay out front and just keep your nose clean. Lead as much as you can. Don't push it too hard. And he's pretty much got it made for himself. Until the end of the race, you just got to be easy, not loop it around, put it in the wall or anything, and he's pretty much set.
Yeah, and looking back deeper in the field, just some of the names who have relatively kept their noses clean. It's kind of tough to keep it completely clean, but they've wiped off some of the dirt, and they're still running pretty well. Scott Mullen's 4th, and that's a really good run for that Go Tire team. Excalibur Racing's Andrew Hess is running 5th, and that's a really good start for that team in the Championship Online Racing teams. And Andrew Hayes, not to be confused with Andrew Hess. Andrew Hess drives the 22, Hayes drives the 20. Easy to get confused. Hayes is running 6th, so a good run for Fury in their season opener.
And Andrew Hayes, he has really had a good bounce back here tonight. Like I said, currently running 6th. He had his fair share of problems in the early part of this race, as did John Draganetti, who was rebounded back to 7th. Draganetti had his fair share. Patrick Healy sits 8th. Good run for him.
Johnny Martin just kind of nursing his number 02 entry, one of the 3 GE branded entries in the field this season. He is running 9th. And that is everyone out there right now.
One other driver, Matt Harrington, who is 34 laps down. He's at 17th. He's basically out there running for points. He's the guy who stalled it on the first lap on the initial green, which kind of bunched up some people on the start there.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he's looking a little sideways a little bit. As we just missed that Joseph Servone looks like he just made his pit stop.
Servone in. So he has started the round. of pit stops. Taylor and Sullivan, they're still out on the track. As we close in on the 20-minute to go mark here. David is going to be our final pit stop of the night.
Yeah, I think it will be your final pit stop of the night. From about this point on, you should be good to go. If you pitted this instant, like Joseph did, I'm not sure if you're going to make it, but I think Joseph kind of had no choice but to kind of short pit, see what he can do.
Have to see how that plays out for him. Closing in on the 20-minute mark, closing in on pit stops here at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We want to remind you again about the 911 triple features in the West Pro Series late model division, which will be live here on Noble Network One, a one-time event, biggest event in West Pro Series history, $1,000+ given away in prizes, not only to the top 3 but to random drawings as well. That's the West Pro Series late model division this Wednesday night. 911 triple features at Irwindale, 40 laps each. And once again, that'll be live on Noble Network One, a one-time event here at the network. We'll be right back here at Long Beach for the Toyota Grand Prix. You're watching the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series live here on Noble Network One.
Does a real race car have a center post? Of course not, and neither should your race rig. The R-Seat Evo V3 with its unique design has no center post. The R-Seat Evo replicates what you would be accustomed to in your daily driver or something you may take to the track. It can accommodate drivers from 4'11" up to over 6'6" tall and is pre-drilled for all of the major wheel manufacturers on the market today. When it comes to performance, look no further than the R-Seat Evo V3. Check out the R-Seat Evo and other sim racing equipment by heading to www.rseat.net.
Welcome back to Noble Network One here at the CORT, or with the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series at Long Beach, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Just under 20 minutes remaining in this race. We've raced 1 hour so far, and the leader is Stephen Taylor, followed by Brian Sullivan. Sullivan was scored 15 seconds back last time around. Sullivan, he is coming down pit road now. We talked about pit stops before the breaks. Before the break, Sullivan's going to come down. We've already seen third place Servone come down. So this is going to leave 2 cars on the lead lap. Stephen Taylor still out on the track. We'll wait for him to come down. He'll probably come down within the next lap or so.
Yeah, and now you got to wonder if these guys will take less fuel to try and beat it out. In fact, I think that's what Brian Sullivan did. I think he took a little bit less fuel so that he wouldn't be penalized so much for pitting earlier.
Looking down from the blimp, Brian Sullivan exiting the pits, and he's got a lap car on his inside. That's Matt Harrington. Thought that was going to get hairy for a second down in quarter number 1 as we head around the fountain.
Taylor is in. Leader is pitting.
So, we'll have to see where Sullivan is able to come out as opposed to Stephen Taylor. Taylor is on lap 50 now as he comes into his pit box for his pit stop.
As we see the car of Andrew Hayes there on pit lane, I wonder if he had some sort of issue out there on the racetrack, as he was missing a front wing, at least from what I could see. Now, Brian Sullivan is coming through turn 10, coming to the hairpin now. And Taylor is gone.
Yep, Taylor's in 1. He's about to drive her around the fountain, so Sullivan, if he tried any strategy there, didn't work too good for him.
Yeah, he's essentially the entire length of Shoreline Drive behind Stevens, so he's going to need some help. Definitely going to need some help here.
But the race is not over. Just under 20 minutes to go here in this one at Long Beach. Again, if you want to check out CORT, you can check them out at CORTracing.com. They have the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series, the Indy Cars on Monday nights, and the CORT Nationals on Wednesday nights. And I'm pretty sure if Dave will be more than happy to tell you about them if you just contact him. He doesn't bite, at least he doesn't bite too hard. And Dave, I'll let you have the show here, and you can give us a little info on the CORT National Series that runs on the Wednesday nights.
Yeah, the CORT National Cup Series runs every Wednesday night. It's our fixed Gen 6 series that has had great turnouts the first 2 weeks of the season. They actually kicked off their season about 2 weeks ago at Daytona with Chris Sweat coming home with the win in our 8th annual Daytona 250, and last weekend at Rockingham had another great show with about 25 cars, a really good show, a really good field. So we're at Las Vegas this upcoming Wednesday. It is media blacked out. There is no broadcast, but it's sure going to be one heck of a good race. And if you're interested in a fixed Gen 6 series on Wednesday nights, definitely go ahead and check us out, CORTracing.com.
If you're just joining us, you have missed a well of a show. The first 20 minutes of this race, just drama-filled. We had cars slapping the wall, cars overturned, cars spinning, internet connection problems. It was just
problematic.
Problematic. The first 20 minutes were of this race. Kind of settled down. Kind of settling down though in the past couple of minutes, or past, 30 minutes or so. Not had too much action in the past few laps here. Stephen Taylor is your leader. 3 cars on the lead lap. It's Stephen Taylor, Brian Sullivan, who sits second, and Joseph Servone, who sits third. And Servone's not too close to being put a lap down, so Servone could finish on the lead lap here tonight. And third place, phenomenal it would be for Servone to come out with third tonight. That's an awesome finish.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Servone taking over what was known as 703 Racing, and Servone has done a great job getting that team. He signed on Scott Olson for the season, and he also signed on today Daniel Holloway. So the whole JCR team, Joseph Servone Racing Team, 3-car operation, hopefully for the entire season, and that team has definitely shown strides of improvement this year.
That they have. As Stephen Taylor comes to complete his lap number 52. He begins work on 53. 15 minutes remain.
Yeah, and Ben, this is going to be the time where, believe it or not, this is a tough racetrack on the body. We had a 40-minute test race here during the off-season, and we even found it taxing just for 40, let alone the full 80 minutes that we're doing tonight. So a lot of these guys, I imagine Stephen Taylor and Brian Sullivan, are going to be hurting when they get up for work in the morning.
And somebody who is new to sim racing or just catching this broadcast just now, they're like, man, how can you be wore out from a game? Right, first of all, this isn't a game, this is a simulator. This is as real as it gets, and force feedback, of course, and their wheels will play a big factor into how wore out they are. But yeah, you are turning this wheel, it's working. You have to really will this car around some of these corners, and I can imagine that these guys will be wore out. I know I probably would be.
Yeah, I mean, turn 11 alone, I was saying it earlier, in my 10 years of sim racing, honestly, it's possibly the trickiest corner, honestly, that I've ever had to deal with on a racetrack this weekend. So definitely one of the newer corners. This is actually, believe it or not, I'm what a lot of people call the IndyCar guy. Well, not really, but it's more Andrew Hayes. But this is my first league race ever at Long Beach, so it was problematic. That'll be the theme tonight. Problematic.
Problematic. Word of the day.
No, but honestly, for those of you who are watching and are saying, wow, this is kind of meh, I plead to you, come watch next week in Homestead. I know Ben can back us up on this. We always put on a great show on the oval circuits, and I think Homestead, my bad, I think I said Long Beach. We're already at Long Beach. Homestead is going to be a very, very exciting race in Miami next week. Right here, same time. Be sure to tune in.
Yep, the 1.5 miles down there in southern Florida. I'm really looking forward to that race. That track has a few grooves you can run to, from top to the bottom, and sometimes it gets a little bit hectic and hard to even pass there, especially with the speeds that these Indy cars will be running. Next week, like Dave said, same time, same place, right here on Noble Network 1 under the CORT Live page.
Yeah, and another thing that's going to be a lot of variables this year is the weather. We've got realistic weather this season, so could end up with a very different feel to the event. And not only that, but it's the only oval before the Indianapolis 250 this season, so it's the only little dress rehearsal that people have on the oval circuits before we head to the biggest race of the season, the 5th annual Indianapolis 250.
All right, and speaking of the weather, let's go back to the weather. This is one of the coolest things that iRacing has done in quite a while for us members. I'm looking at it right now. It was just 2 miles per hour at the east when Taylor was crossing the finish line last time. Now it's back down to 4 miles per hour, but when he was on the back straightaway, look at it now. It's gusting up to 11 and even 15 miles per hour to north and northeast. That's just amazing that iRacing has put this into the simulator. It makes it so much more realistic, and the humidity can change, the wind can change, and the temperatures can change, which, like you said, just can put a whole new factor into how these races play out.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of a situation back with the CORT National Cup Series when we were doing Daytona 250 qualifying and all that, and we were noticing that it was gonna it produced a headwind or a tailwind down the backstretch, and that helped or hurt people's qualifying runs. And I think you're really going to notice it when we do bump day for the Indy 250 in about 3 or 4 weeks. That will definitely play a gigantic factor. And even the 250 themselves. I mean, a lot of people like to complain, oh, the oval racing's kind of stagnant. It's all the same. It's kind of like super speedway racing. Well, I really think the weather is going to really play a factor and really kind of open it up a bit more.
Definitely is. And right now, We are 10 minutes away from the finish of this one, just under 10 minutes to be exact. So Stephen Taylor still in the lead here at Long Beach. Brian Sullivan's second. And he's just now entering the front straightaway while Taylor is heading around the fountain.
I don't mean to alarm you, but we have a new third-place driver. Scott Mullen has gotten around Joseph Servone, who has had to pit again. I don't know what happened to Joseph, but Scott Mullen, the Canadian Indy 500 winner from this past season, has taken the third spot and the bottom spot on the podium.
Wow, and Servone is out of the pits. Looked a little bit slow in the one. Looks like he's picking up speed right now.
These cold tires are dangerous here. A lot of people in testing were losing it right out of the pits just because the tires were so cold.
And it looks like he's got a souvenir he's dragging along with him. Oh, there it goes. That's another thing iRacing has added in the previous build, the cones. And Dave, if you get one of those stuck under your tires, that'll actually affect the handling of the car.
Yeah, it will. And I've noticed that with certain other vehicles in the service that it will actually overheat as well. Some of the cars will actually overheat due to the cones being on the front end of the automobiles.
So that's something interesting that iRacing, the last build in iRacing was pretty good. But back to the race here. Like you said, oh, and there goes Servone around.
Yeah,
and
he just nosed it into the retaining wall. Like we were saying, these street circuits, there's not a whole hell of a lot of room around it. There goes Scott Mullen by him, and now that's going to put him 3 laps down, and now Servone with no nose cone.
He might have to come down and get that fixed.
And he is.
And yeah, here he comes. He could be at jeopardy of losing yet another position if he's not careful.
Yeah, Andrew Hess is still out there, believe it or not, without a nose cone, and is running in the 5th spot. He's 2 laps behind Joseph, though, so I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time, but we'll see what he can do. Meanwhile, it's still all Taylor up at the front.
Oh yeah, Taylor has a 20-second lead last time around. Sullivan lost 5 seconds, and we're almost at the 5-minute mark here at Long Beach.
All in all, though, I know it hasn't been the most exciting race in the world, but I gotta thank everyone for coming out and running tonight. I mean, for Long Beach, a road course in a oval dominant league, to be the first event of the season is, and to get a turnout like this, I'm honestly humbled. So I just want to take this time out on the broadcast and just thank everyone for coming on out tonight.
Oh yeah, 22 drivers showed up, and like you said, I do believe in our history of broadcasting with you guys, or my history, I think this has been the biggest turnout for a road event that I can remember. And a bunch of good drivers, bunch of bad luck though in the first little half, but you know, they still got a whole season to bounce back and get back with it.
Yeah, and quickly, I just want to touch base. You know how every point counts. Last season's points championship with Mike Husby and Tyler Tucker came down to 2 points. Matt Harrington just kept running around and just kind of got his laps back. He is going to finish 11th on the night. He sneaks into a points position.
Yep.
So every little bit counts. You never know how much that could come into play later on in the season.
Another noticeable, I see Tyler Tucker. He's out of the race, but he sits 12th. Not going to get any points. And Mike Husby, 18th.
Yeah, Tucker will actually get 1 point.
Oh, excuse me.
Get no points. It's the top 12 that get points in the championship online racing teams.
All right, so Husby going to get no points. Tucker going to get 1 point. And that could, like you said, that could be huge. It was big last season coming into the final race. And like I told Matt earlier in the broadcast, excuse me, it was it came down to the very last lap of the last race. We didn't know who was going to go home with the championship until it all was said and done.
Should be getting close to the white flag lap for Steven Taylor. Just a dominant performance tonight and really putting everyone else on notice that Taylor, who has been considered an underdog in CORT for a while, is here to play.
Definitely is. I'd say he's got about 2 or 3 laps to go right now. He's going to come up into some lap traffic. I'm pretty sure they won't give him any problems at all.
Yeah, that's the 2 teammates from Excalibur. That is Johnny Martin he's going by, and he's catching up to, I believe, that would be Andrew Hess that he's catching up to here.
Hess sits 5th, so good top 5 finish for him if he can keep that position, which I'm pretty sure he is. He's a lap ahead of Andrew Hayes, who is the closest competitor to him, 6th. So Hess possibly with a top 5 finish.
Yeah, and a good run for that Excalibur team on their first event here in the in CORT, and that's a good run for them in their 3-car operation.
Lap 61 complete for Steven Taylor. And he could just set this thing on cruise control for the final few laps here and still, I think, would be able to win it. Brian Sullivan back 24 seconds. Now he's fallen back even more since the last time we gave you a margin. That time by Sullivan crossed the line 25 seconds behind Steven Taylor. Once again, I want to thank all you fans for joining us here on NobleNetwork1.com, the first official broadcast of another league besides Noble Motorsport and its sister league, West Pro Series, with CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. Dave, glad you guys could have us. Glad to be back on board. And we'll be here for quite a bit of the races this season in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series.
Yeah, majority of the events, and mainly it's going to be the race to the championship, which is going to be mainly broadcasted, and it's going to be really exciting.
Coming to complete 62 for Taylor, and he should be getting the white flag next time by, as we've got 1 minute remaining in this race. About 2 minutes, I should say.
Yeah, just about thereabouts. Unfortunately, iRacing really needs to make it a little bit more clear when they announce that it's going to be the white flag on a timed event. Because this is not the first time you and I, Ben, are wondering if it's the white flag or not.
They don't make it easy. They don't make it easy on the broadcasters, and my producers being so gracious and telling me that the white flag is out right now. So we are on the final lap here at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach.
Yep. I'll take it.
He's just got to make it a few more corners and he will win the season opener. Through the trickiest part of the track. Through the final hairpin, the final corner, onto the front straightaway. He can coast all the rest of the way right now. Steven Taylor is going to do it here at Long Beach. He wins the season opener in the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. Brian Sullivan. Oh my goodness. He's had some problems. Sullivan gonna try and make his way back around here, try and salvage a second position here as Dragon Eddie works around the outside of him. Servone coming up on him now. Servone is 4th. I think that was just the point of Sullivan, or just a scenario of Sullivan trying to push it a little bit too hard there and trying to get every little bit he could. He finally makes it to the final corner, gets that thing turned around, and here comes Brian Sullivan. No, on the wall. And he might not even finish on the lead lap. I think he will, though. The leader just passed him. And there we go. Sullivan, yeah, finishes on the lead lap, finishes second for Brian Sullivan. Third is Scott Mullen. We'll talk Taylor, Sullivan, and Mullen here in just a moment. Right here live on Noble Network 1 for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. We're back here at Noble Network 1, and we've caught up with second place Brian Sullivan. And Brian, pretty good way to start off the season. Second place here tonight in the season opener.
Yeah, can't complain too much. That was a very difficult track, and second is definitely a good start to the year.
That's definitely a good start. Let's talk about the first, I'd say, 30 or so minutes of the race. How hectic was the first bit of the race behind the wheel for you?
It was pretty crazy. You know, this is the first race we've done standing starts, and Matt Harrington didn't get off the line very quick. I don't know what happened to him, but he kind of stacked up the field, and for the first 15 or 20 laps, it was just trying to keep all four wheels on the track.
Sounds great. Ryan, I want to thank you for talking with us and congratulate you on your second place finish to start the season off. Who do you want to thank for putting you here on the podium?
Well, thank Sauce Racing and sponsors Cobalt tonight. It was a pretty good run, and hopefully we can get one more spot better here in the near future.
Sounds great. Well, Brian, we look forward to seeing you next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. And like I said, thanks for talking with us, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
That is Brian Sullivan, who came home second. That's all the interviews we got tonight. Third and first did not connect to the team speak. We'll see if we can't get them in here for next week's race, Matt. But that's all right. We'll talk to Brian Sullivan. He sounded pretty excited to finish second. That's good for him. Glad to see him up there in the points. And next week, Homestead Miami Speedway, we head to an oval, and that's going to be pretty fun.
Yes, back on the ovals once again. Like Dan Boy said, prior to the fifth running of the Indianapolis 250, Homestead will be the only oval that these guys are able to get on. So turning left and right one week, turning left the next, and then back left and right the following week. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys handle things.
Yeah, it definitely will. Homestead Miami Speedway, like I said, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how these guys really react on the first oval of the season, mile and a half, but it's not really shaped like your D oval or most other ones are shaped. So that's going to be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top with the victory there next Monday night. I'm going to see. Oh, we were going to talk to the third place. Matt, let's look at the finishing results here at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. All right, Matt, let's go ahead and look at the results. I'm going to send it to you.
All right, Ben. Well, obviously coming out first tonight here at Long Beach was our winner, Steven Taylor. Second place, you just heard from him, Brian Sullivan. Third place, Scott Mullen. Great run for him to end the night. Fourth place, Joseph Cervone. Fifth, Andrew Hess. Sixth, Andrew Hayes. Seventh, John Dragonetti. Eighth, Patrick Healy. Ninth, Johnny Martin. Rounding out the top 10 is Chase Manning. No relation to Peyton Manning. 11th was Mr. Matt Harrington. 12th, Tyler Tucker. 13th, the man that knows how to get it done on the road, Scott Olson. 14th, David Amboys. 15th, Johnny Williams. 16th, Daniel Holloway. 17th, Tim Silliman. 18th, your defending champion, Mike Husby. 19th, Troy McLegan. 20th, Alex Buffoli. 21st, Julian Medor. 22nd, Morgan Murphy. And Carson Abe and Chris Sweet did not make it tonight. Interesting race to start the season with, definitely, don't you think, Ben?
Oh, yeah, and all in all, yeah, interesting, and like Dave said, problematic. It's going to be the headline for this one, I'm pretty sure. But an interesting race. A dang good race here at Long Beach. Steven Taylor, just once he took the lead, he never looked back, and he set sail with it, and he sailed the victory lane. Too bad we didn't get to talk to him and see how excited he was, but maybe he'll put it back in victory lane when we can talk to him next week at Homestead Miami.
That would be that'd definitely be a good thing, I think.
Yeah, and then pull off a double victory in the 2 first races. We'll have to wait and see, though, how it shapes out. Matt, do you have any final closing statements, though, here from Long Beach?
It's the second time here for the guys at CORT. A big field, so a lot of different things happen. Kind of reminded me of Bristol at moments, but all in all, it was a decent race at the end. Only 3 guys finishing on the lead lap, but well, actually I believe that was 2. But that happens, you know.
Yep.
Kind of rub this one off, and pick yourself up and get back to it next week at Homestead.
Mentioned it. We'll pick ourselves back up at Homestead next week. Same time, same place, right here on NobleNetwork1.com. Just hover over the CORT tab and click on the CORT Live page, and that's where you'll find us. It's going to be fun next week at Homestead, our first oval of the season, but we've got to head out for now. So, for Matt Weisbrod, I'm Ben Kilcrease. Thanks to David Tamboys for jumping up here in the booth with us about halfway throughout the race. Too bad it was unfortunate circumstances, but hey, we were glad to have his company in the booth. I'm just getting all sort of tongue-tied, so I'm going to go ahead and close it off. Thanks to CORT Trading Paints Championship Series, and we're glad that you tuned in to Noble Network 1 here tonight. We will see you next Monday at Homestead Miami Speedway for the CORT Trading Paints Championship Series. Good night, and remember to put the phone down.